Well, hi everyone, here I am once again on the Multistrada, having been out today with the guys from the Ducati club, North Yorkshire club, and we went over to Lancaster to Festa Italia, which is a kind of a, as the name might suggest, a kind of Italian festival day over there in Lancaster. It's not somewhere really I've been before, if I can ever remember being there, and I think perhaps I have at some point, but I don't remember sort of wandering around the town or anything, so it's quite good to get there today. It was a bit rainy on the way there, but certainly brightened up a bit when we got there. It's about 10 of us, I think, and we met to different places en route. Mainly I think most of us met up at Devil's Bridge in Kirkby Lonsdale, and I've just had a little stop off at McDonald's on the way home just to get a bit of a feed before I run the last leg of my trip. It's about an hour-ish as a nice steady run from Skipton. Not quite an hour really, probably 45-50 minutes, something like that, from Skipton McDonald's back to my house. But at some point I want to stop off and just give you a quick look at this carbon front end of the Multistrada, because in my last video I talked a little bit about whether or not I was going to go ahead and get carbon for the bike, and well, I did mention that I was struggling with it because of how much it cost, and I was kind of trying to reach a decision. And I have to say I did go back and forth quite a bit on making that decision, but finally I decided, sod it, I'll go ahead and get some bits and pieces and stick them on the front. So I'm going to show you that look of that very soon. I'll pull over somewhere and we'll take a look at that so you can see. But I'm guessing from where you are now, where the camera is, you probably can see that that's if it's all working, that these kind of shoulders down here are part of the sort of front fairing is all carbon. These two shoulders down here are carbon there in like a gloss finish. So like I mentioned last time, I was thinking of getting this satiny matte finish at the front with these gloss sort of air intake cover shoulder things, and that's what I've done. I also got the front beak in carbon, and I already had the carbon screen in satin, so it kind of all goes together. It's really too expensive to justify, I suppose, but I just wanted to make it look a bit different, so I'll show you what the look of it is in just a minute when we pull over and take a look. So that's how the front end looks, with a sort of carbon look on it. Don't know what the light's like outside at the minute. I've just got my dark visor on at the minute, so I can't quite tell, but that's the general look of the front end. So I already had that screen. I've got this over headlight fairing, which kind of goes right round the back there as well. Then I've got the beak, and all these are in sort of satin, and then I've got these two shoulders here which come through as like a gloss look. Actually, I quite like it. I think it does make the front end look a little bit meaner than it was, and so far I'm avoiding getting the fender at the front in carbon, but that's not fully decided yet either. Might be something I just add just to finish off that front end. But yeah, that's the carbon look of the bike. So we are heading towards that dreaded end of the biking season, but get everything ready and up and running again for next year. I'll still be kicking around on the bike, I think, for another 4 to 6 weeks, as long as it's not wet. Then I'm not too bothered, because I've got all of the heated gear. Last year I got the Gerbing heated jacket, which I used throughout quite a while last year. That's really good. And I already had, for a couple of years before that, the Gerbing heated gloves, and they are fantastic. They're still going strong. And you combine those two things and you just sort of get wrapped up reasonably well anyway, and you can quite happily go for rides in, you know, sub-zero temperatures, as long as it's not icy. You know, if it's dry and it's cold, then you're fine. So yeah, I mentioned earlier, I've been met up with some of the guys from the, well, various Ducati owners clubs, I think, dotted around. I think one guy was from, or a couple of guys were from over in Blackpool area. One guy I think was from over in Beverley. I'm obviously from Huddersfield. Another guy was up from Ripon. So and I didn't really catch the places where the other 3 or 4 guys came from. So but yeah, we had quite a wide geographical representation today, and quite a nice range of bikes as well. There's a nice Panigale V4 there, and various other sporty versions, and then there was just one other Multistrada chap there with a Multistrada as well. And yeah, it was great to meet everybody today. And when I was there today, one of the other chaps, the other guy who had the Multistrada, was using an SW Motec tank bag that fit very neatly with the shape of the tank on the bike, and also was sort of nice, slightly thinner, slightly narrower than this one, but it had a couple of side pockets on it that you could use. And it just extended back another 3 or 4 inches this way, so it's sort of narrower and thinner. It looked quite cool. So I'm going to have a look at that. That's called the N-Gauge, I think, that particular bag. So I shall have to have a look on the Tinternet and see if I can spot one. Covering the old horn there, because you don't know what's going to happen at any minute when you're out on your bike, do you? I often sort of find when the sun is low down, you kind of sometimes get sort of more accidents, don't you? People don't quite spot somebody, see somebody, get blinded by the sun, see them in the shadows, whatever it might be. And I often think on a bike that particularly when the sun's behind you, there's always a chance that cars haven't quite spotted you, so I just take it that little bit extra careful. Anyway, so it's been a bit of a sort of a lacklustre weekend apart from today's trip out, to be honest. I was going to go out yesterday on the bike. I was going to try and get an East Coast run in this weekend, but yesterday it was pretty much on and off, the rain most of the day. Today was the same. For the run over to Lancaster, it was pretty much raining about half the time we were riding over there, and hopefully next weekend we'll get a couple of good days and I can get out, make a couple of videos. Probably one day I might go over to the East Coast, and I'm just wondering where else nowadays I should go and try out. If you've got any ideas, anywhere where you think the roads are nice, and get me to a nice coffee spot at the end of it, and I'm probably looking to do in a day, if I sort of set off at 10ish in the morning, I'm looking to be back for about 7 in the evening. So any sort of decent trip that you think can be done in that sort of 8-9 hours daytime run, I'd be interested to hear it. So I think from me now, as we approach the highest point around here, which is in Queensbury, I think I shall sign off and say bye bye for now. If you're riding bikes, ride safe, or whatever you're doing, take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye for now.